Welcome to the Texas Truck Channel. I'm Craig, and behind me we've got the 2021 Honda Ridgeline with the HPD Performance Package. And we're going to start with the looks because what Honda's been trying to do since the first generation is make this unibody truck, crossover-based truck, look more truck-like. And so we're going to start over here on the hood, and one of the things they did in 2021 is they gave this sucker a power bulge. Power is the same. It's a 3.5 liter J Series, 280 horsepower, 262 pound-feet of torque. We'll talk about a little bit more about that in a minute, but let's continue around the front. The grille is more aggressive as well in 2021 with this 2.5 generation, we're going to call it. You get nice headlights. They work great at night, LEDs on low beams. We found it really kind of funky and different on high beams. It's actually a different element that comes into play, and the lighting color is actually different at night, but it works fine. This does have the Honda sensing package up front. So you've got the lane keep assist, you've got the radar cruise control, you've got the auto high beams. They all work okay. They work. We'll say that. They're a little clumsy because it's an old thing that they have applied it to, but they work. Let's move on this way and let's talk about some HPD specific things. We've got two things going on over here. We've got some extra body cladding here. It's stylish, it's HPD tuned, and it's actually functional in that it's a little less rock chips, and that's helpful and functional. We also get some nice gold faux beadlock looking wheels, which actually look good. It's the exact same tire size we've had since 2017, but it is an extra 20 millimeter offset, so you get a little bit more wider track in 2021. So that, again, a little more functional truck-like features. Moving along, let's move to the back. We'll get to the interior in a second, but I want to stop here for a second because this is where Honda's really focused since 2017 to make this thing look more like a truck. Specifically, right here, you see that it looks like the bed is separate from the cab, like on a traditional truck. That's not what's actually going on here. This is actually a unibody truck. This is connected here. There's no gap actually in the frame. That's actually a fake gap to make it look more truck. And I'll say this, it actually works. I think that since 2017, they nailed it on that. That was a good move. If you remember the old generation, it was kind of still connected here and it looked really funky. This works, I like it a lot. The body cladding continues on the back. And then another HPD specific package we get right here is these stickers right here. I don't know if you can tell, but these stickers are performance developed from the Honda racing team. They do actually have a Baja truck that they take off-roading with a 3.5 liter twin turbo V6, loosely based on this, but that engineering team has helped a little bit with this, believe it or not. Moving on the back, one of the things they've also done since 2021, which I really like, is the rear bumper. It's got the integrated tailpipes and exhaust. It looks good. I think it looks like a regular truck bumper and exhaust. It looks a little bit like the Rams used to, and it looks functional and proper. It looks like a real functioning truck. As far as towing goes, you do get a receiver, and it's good for 5,000 pounds of towing, which is good for most people. And believe it or not, in the back, payload-wise, pretty high. It's like 1,500, maybe I think 1,583, I think is the number. That's pretty high, especially for a mid-sized truck. That's a lot of payload. So anything over 1,500 or more, we're counting as pretty good. Here's the cool thing and bad thing at the same time. Opens like a traditional tailgate, old school, no dampening. It's kind of heavy. Not the best thing. But if you come down here and you look in the bumper, Brian, it says release, and it's got an arrow. You can't miss it. Pull the button, it swings out. This is the trick of the Honda Ridgeline, and this is the best part. Now it's really light. You can one hand touch it and close it. It's not hard to do it all. And now I can reach the bed and I can get to things without having to reach over the tailgate. The other cool thing, this opens up to reveal a cooler, or a lot of people are going to use this like a toolbox. Here's the other functional part about it, which I really like. You lock it down, you hit the lock button. Now you can't open it. Well, it's opening because I'm next to it, but if you lock it and walk away from it, you can't get into this. So a locking functional lock box, that's very helpful and really cool. Moving on to the interior, I'm going to show some things in here. We get some functional space here. Before I show you the magic trick in the back, one of the cool things about the back is you get plenty of room for a mid-sized truck. This is a lot of room and functional space. Adults can sit back here behind adults and be comfortable, especially with the rear AC. There are not very many mid-sized trucks. In fact, I'm trying to think off the top of my head if any mid-sized trucks that actually have rear AC. And you can actually, it's tri-zone. So you can do passenger, driver, and rear seat. That's wonderful. Honda magic up here. You've got cubby holders, cell phone holders, more holders in the door. It's great. And if you need to flip the seat up, just like all trucks, you pull it and it comes up real easy. It's assisted, it pops up, and then it comes right back down just as easy. This folds down and pops right in place and latches, and it's secure. You also get a center armrest for the rear. That's hard to find in mid-size trucks. Very functional. Let's move on to the driver's side and see what's going on over there. All right, moving on to the interior or the business side. This is the sport trim package. You can get the RTL as the next trim package up. It'll give you some more features, but the sport package gives you a non-leather wrap steering wheel or a urethane steering wheel. I'll say this, it's one of the better non-leather wrap steering wheels I've come across. This front and forward is the same as a Passport, is the same as a Pilot. There is really nothing different. In fact, the gauge cluster is exactly the same as a Pilot. The Passport, you'll see, has a little bit different gauge cluster than this does. Interesting to see that they made those match and they're different. The Passport, don't know why they did that. Again, you get the dual zone climate control. All the buttons make sense. They're intuitive. They're logically laid out. You also get in 2021, this came out, or no, 2020. This is a volume knob, thank you. So this exact same head unit, you used to adjust the volume by moving your finger here, and it was really hard to do when you're driving to keep your eyes on the road. Now you can just reach over and adjust the volume. You also get volume controls on the steering wheel and all that fun stuff. You get the flappy paddles, those work well. You notice down here, the shifter looks a little different than the previous generation. The previous generation had an actual lever that moved, that was connected to a 6-speed Honda unit. This means it's connected to the 9-speed ZF unit, which is much better than the old Honda 6-speed. Just trust me, you want the 9-speed. If you're buying an old Ridgeline, get that. Let's move it on to the under the hood and see what we got going on there. Now, the under the hood portion, it is nice and hot under here because it's a sweltering Texas summer day. But we've got the J35, the Honda J-Series engine, which is the same as the 3.7, the 3.2. They've had this engine for, well, just about 20 years now, and we talked earlier, makes plenty of power. Fuel mileage-wise, it's good for 18 city. In 2021, when they made this a little more aggressive with the power bulge and more trucky, the highway dropped to 24 miles a gallon instead of 25, so it's a little less aerodynamic, but it looks more like a truck, so there's that. We're getting about 21, 22 with that. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. We got a full review coming later. Until then, hit the like button, and thanks for watching.